What is up, guys? It's Verns back here again with another SuperCoach video. This time it is the AFL Round 12 review. Yeah, I know it's late on a Friday night that I'm getting this done. I just didn't have any other time earlier in the week. As Scope said, obviously DR played for my full cruise that I had going on. No, not really. I appreciate listening back to the boys on the Monday Night Rage trade without me, but unfortunately, not unfortunately, why am I saying unfortunately? It was my partner's birthday on the weekend and we had a family dinner on Monday night, so not something I was able to attend, but did listen back to, of course. Those fellas trying to convince me on TDK, but decided to go another way. I would like to appreciate and shout out all those for listening in, and those that have liked and subscribed for the consistent injection of SuperCoach content directly into your YouTube feed, especially on this late Friday night for a team review. Like, we've already got the round started. I'm way too late to the party here, but it's just the only time I had free. Other thing I want to quickly shout out is just I've had a lot of fun doing Gameday Squad. If you are interested, I do recommend signing up. Now, the SuperCoach Swordplay podcast does have the code word peanut when you do sign up for that, and it gives you $20 worth of like free packs, which is really cool. I technically have my own refer a friend code, but there's no reason to use that as it's not going to give you anything free, unlike the code word peanut. If for some reason someone wants to use my code instead of getting free stuff, I guess I'll put it in my description or something like that for the video. So yeah, cool, thanks, I appreciate it. But if I was you, I'd just use the code word peanut, guys. As you can see from my team for the week, I scored a 1,687. I'm probably going to be a bit more speedrunning on this one, just because I actually did the whole video and my mic wasn't recording. Love that. I actually saw Hippo did the same thing in his most recent video. So yeah, gotta love that. I guess quickly on the weekend, though, I got real messy on the weekend for my partner's birthday. I am usually really responsible with the way I drink. I get to a good place, I start drinking water, stay in that good place. Feel free to have drinks and more drinks later on, but I make sure to blend in good amount of water and never sort of go over my limit. I absolutely cooked it. I probably started drinking at 5:30 and my squad had already put me to bed by 10. I was passed out in bed. It was awful. I just got a bit too carried away, I guess. I'd had a little bit. I was probably at that good point where I probably needed to stop, drink some water, but then my cousin was like, yo, let's play some beer pong. I was like, yeah, true. Lost that game, so such is life. And then my best mate was like, yo, my turn. So then I played him and lost that horribly too. Now, I probably really shouldn't have played the second game of beer pong. Definitely shouldn't have done that. And basically killed myself. Drank a lot of scotch really quickly and just was a menace after that. I ended up doing a lot of throwing up, which wasn't great, and don't remember a lot of the night, actually. Yeah, I just ended up in bed early and basically missing it to a degree. I was funny in the morning, I sort of said to the squad, because a few of them crashed at mine and a few came back, pick up cars and stuff afterwards. So I had a really nice Sunday with everyone, seeing everyone come back and just chill and enjoy a Sunday with everyone. But I was like, oh man, I really missed not being able to play a game of pool with everyone at least. And they're like, Vin, you did play a game of pool. I was like, oh. They're like, halfway through the game, you fell into the wall over there, like face first. I'm like, oh, did I win? And they're like, almost. You actually were really close to winning. You weren't bad, which was weird considering you couldn't even stand. But yeah, I was a menace. And then yeah, some of my best mates helped me to bed, and yeah. Because of that, I obviously didn't drink any water, and as you normally do, you wake up on Sunday so seedy as well. So missed a lot of that night because I was in bed by 10 and they were going to like 5. So I missed like a good 7 hours of what was everyone was saying was a great party. I mean, usually our parties are good parties. Everyone's really happy. We have a good crew. But I was just really disappointed that I missed it all. Like, I was really sad. I was actually really annoyed at myself. I was like, man, I can't believe I did that. I missed a whole night. Like, that's so sad. And then the next day, I was so seedy and I just didn't want to do anything, And I ruined the whole weekend, which sucked. But we got a long weekend this weekend. Everyone's coming back around to ours because it's just what we do. And I'm going to be a good boy this time and not kill myself in the first, couple of hours. So, yeah, that was my weekend, guys. Yeah, good weekend. Anyway, let's jump into the actual SuperCoach. Dropped to 1687. As we said before, not a good score, but would have been way, way worse. So with my trades, we ended up moving out Sheasel, McRae, and Stone, who's the dead rookie, because we only had 15 playing. So I had to move 3 players that weren't playing just to get a fieldable team to play for the week. And the rookies weren't good. I know people went for Gray, but I didn't like that idea. He's obviously been omitted now, so I feel like maybe I made the right call there. McRae out a week late probably wasn't very good either, but I sort of just had to do it if I wanted to get 18 playing. And as I sort of mentioned on the SuperCoach Sword Play podcast, because obviously I did the solo podcast last Monday, I really appreciate all those that did tune into that. That was a lot of fun. And basically was my round review for the week. So yeah, I mean, it's too late now to go check that out, but it was fun. I did enjoy that a lot, and maybe I want to do more lives. I kind of considered doing a live right now, but I didn't have that much time. I probably have to be wrapped up by like 6:15, and I was like, I haven't really notified anyone. Like, nah, I'll just do a quick recording of my team. But yeah, those three went out, and I brought in Steele, Toby Green, and I don't even remember who the hell I brought in. Who else did I bring in, guys? What the hell? Steele, Toby Green. I feel like another premium came in. I don't remember. And Stewart came in. That's the one. So McRae was kind of a direct sideways to Steele, which might seem a little bit weird, but Steele's been in really hot form, looking really good, looking at this 110 plus sort of guy, and that's what I'm hoping for. Where McRae has been in pretty bad form to a degree, and kind of hoping if McRae can go like a 95 to 100, Steele put 10 plus points on him a week, it's going to be a really justifiable trade. I mean, Steele scored 117 for me this week, and every score I got counted. So that 117 is an extra 117 points I got this season purely off that. Obviously, McRae could outdo him this week and or for the rest of the season sort of counteract that, and I wasted a trade for nothing. But as Steele continues to outperform him, there's a chance that this could be a 200-300 point swing if he can get like 10 points on him a week, 10, 15. But we'll see how we go with that. Jewett in for Sheasel. I didn't like Sheasel's role. I don't know if he's returning to the halfback role. He's also got the super high break even. There's a chance that he could end up low 400s, just like Jason Horn-Francis. But then even then, you're not going to want him unless he has a role change. And even if he has a role change, I don't have the confidence that he's going to keep that. So yeah, Sheasel went out as well. Stewart, I was happy to take the punt on. I like Stewart as a player and very affordable price, and worked out. He got a nice 100 for me as well. Once again, that's extra points that my team got full stop. It's not knocking out a 60, it's not knocking out a 20, it's straight up. It would have been 0 otherwise. And then Toby Green got a 58, and I'm really sad about that. Now, to be fair, I would like to defend the Toby Green pick. You're all going to say it's probably undefendable. You're all going to sit there and be like, Vern, come on, brother. That was a bad pick. They were GWS into Richmond. Like, how were they not pumping them by 10 goals and Toby kicking a bag? Like, I can't believe they almost lost that game. Who could have seen that coming? Look, me personally, I did not see that coming. Look, Toby still has 3 weeks till he's by. Hopefully he can get some decent games until then, and it's fine. It'd be great if he could get a spike score this week, because then it's in his rolling average for the other 2 games before he's by, and that would be great. Thank you, Toby. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, the other guy I was really big on was obviously Cordwell. It was basically Steele or Cordwell, and I decided to go for Steele, because Cordwell had a high enough break even where I kind of felt like, and Steele had the bye next week, where if I didn't get Steele, I probably wasn't going to get Steele, and I really wanted Steele, where Cordwell, he had that 97 break even, so even if he came out with like a 95, 100, it's a cool score. It's like a really good score for his price. Because of his break even, he's not going to move, but then he's going to get a really good break even the following week. So the point he came out with 123 was really good. Obviously, if I was super hot on a pick last week and then he did performed extremely well this week, I'll give you a hint. I'm going to bring him in this week. So Cordwell's in my team, super affordable. Something Hippo did say on his stream was like, people are only getting these guys if they're desperate. I got facts for y'all. I'm desperate. I'm desperate as hell. My team has no cash in it. Absolutely none. We talked about this last week, and that's why I had the sideways premiums, because what else am I doing? Now, with this team, it's technically at 21 premiums, so I want to get 2 more premiums in it. 2 more premiums. The trades have already been done because we obviously already had the Dogs game. I really can't believe the Dogs lost. Good for my Gameday squad, though. I fielded Matt Kennedy for his 150 plus and Dale for his 130 plus. Bont got like 107 or something, but that's fine. I feel like most people would have fielded Bont, so I'm pretty happy with the outcome of the first game of the week. And I'm pretty happy for it for SuperCoach too, because Dale was a good scorer, and then a lot of the other highly owned players are pretty meh. Bont wasn't great. I feel Newcomb was actually decent. But they're really the only players because you don't really have anyone from Hawthorn. Libba, someone that underperformed, which I feel bad for because I love Libba, but with the return of Treloar, it was kind of, that's how it's going to be. Now, one thing I was considering was keeping Matt Roberts, but with him being ill this week and then the bye next week, it puts me in this position where I was probably going to trade him anyway, so I'm not going to bother holding him. So I'll move Matty Roberts out. I'm actually going to pause this video real quick because I just heard a knock. I'm pretty sure my mate's at the front door, so BRB. And I'm back. All right. So we were talking about Roberts there. Look, I'm in a position where what I want to do with my team, it's 9 trades, so this is a bit desperate. Not desperate, but this is a bit irresponsible, you could say, with my trades. What I do want to do is I did want to go Soligo up, I wanted to go Green up, and I wanted to go Roberts up, and that would put me in a position where hopefully Soligo can go to, like, let's just say a Bont, Green can go to a Butters, so Roberts can go to a Brayshaw, and then maybe we can bring in like, who is it again? Bring in a Jason Horn-Francis at a really cheap, like, low 400s. So that's what I would really like to do with my team. But to do that, Saliga's going to need like 150k, 200k almost on his head to get to Bont. I mean, Bont had the down game this week, so maybe it can be okay. But he's going to need, like, let's just say 200k to get to Bont. Okay. Maybe unrealistic. Maybe it's more realistic to think a NAS instead. That's 100k cheaper. That's a possibility. Green, he's only 400. He's not even 400k. Hopefully he can be like 420 at least when I trade him out. He going to Butter means Butters. I'm gonna need probably at least once again 150 on his head. It's not great. And then Roberts going to Brayshaw. I'm gonna need 150 on his head. Okay, that's all great and all, but what rookies do I have to make those sort of plays? Like Carroll going down, even if he went to a 99k base, man, he's maybe going to make me 100k. I need another 100k on top of that. Kako, maybe 140k. It's not quite enough either. And if I want these to work, because I have 9 trades left, these one-up, one-downs have to happen that way, and that's going to leave me with 1 trade left for the rest of the season, which is, as I mentioned, super irresponsible, but I think obviously makes the team look really good. Like, obviously that'll make the team look good, but I just, how am I meant to do this? And that's why I am considering, instead of the Tom McCartan, because I'm most likely going to get to Tom McCartan. The only other one I'm really considering is Pedler here instead, is purely because I just need the money off rookies. Like, I just named the 2 rookies I have that have money on their head, and then outside of that, I'm relying on Clark to gain money. I've still got to do a 1-up, 1-down to get to Jason Horn-Francis. Like, Clark plus Pedler might be that trade, let alone how am I getting Kako up, how am I getting Carroll up. That's all I have. I just don't have enough money to make this play work, and that's why when I did talk about TDK at the start of the video, I was considering maybe going down the TDK, get that extra money that way without losing a premium. I mean, we're losing an Uber premium, so not really worth it, in my opinion. Because there's definitely like 3 layers of premiums too. Like, we have the value premiums, who are these Greens, Daniels, Saligos, Cordwells, Olivers, Stewarts, Roberts. Then we have just like your standard standard premiums, Dacos, Whitfield, Dales, Zorkos. But then you have your Ubers like Smith, Cherry, and Gorn. And going like an Uber down to a standard premium, so I can get a value premium up to a standard premium, I don't know, that just doesn't seem worth it, especially considering how good these Ubers have been, and they're such viable captain options. Like, me starting Gorn, who's averaged 130, doesn't justify the amount of points he's actually scored me in my team, because I've captained him for 190s, for 170s, for 140s, also like 117s and 130s, but I think overall his value in his team is higher than 130. His average in my team probably puts him closer to 135, 140 if you count the extra points I'm getting off his captain scores. So, yeah, they're too valuable, these Uber premiums. So I just don't think I can justify moving them on. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna put Pedler there. If he's named sub, I will go to McCartan, and I'll accept that I'm just not gonna be able to make enough cash to make this all happen. If he does not start as a sub, I'll play him, and hopefully he doesn't end up like a Gray or one of these other rookies where they end up playing one or 2 games and then just they're dead after 80k, and you're like, damn, wish I could have done more. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking with the team this week, guys. I've got a good on-field team though. I've got, I think, 18 actual premiums playing with 3 rookies playing. Well, 3 rookies not counting Peddler. If Peddler ends up playing, then it'll be like 4 rookies. I think actually moving Roberts maybe knocked me down to 17. Sorry, I've got 4 premiums here. I've got 6 premiums here, 10, 12, and then 6 here. No, I do have 18 premiums. Okay, so I do have 18 premiums playing. So hopefully I can muster out a really good score this week. I'm really set up for next week. And look, moving Roberts this week, it does mean I do have 200k, where if Butters doesn't get absolutely tagged into the ground from Bedford, I mean, I kind of need him to, because it's more beneficial for the guy without cash for players to bottom out a lot lower than those that have cash. They can afford the pay up. They can afford to still get these guys if they're 50k more expensive. I can't. I'm going to have to miss them if they get 50k more expensive. So I'm really hoping he gets tagged into the ground and has to bottom out in a couple more weeks. But there is a chance that he doesn't, and then next week's his bottom out week, and maybe I have to make a move from Soligo up to Butters next week instead. Make that preemptive move. But yeah, I guess that's the team, guys. That's the strategy going forward. That's what I want as an end result. It's probably not going to happen, or if it does happen, I'm skipping on the Bont. There's a very good chance I'm going to skip on the Bont. I'm going to need him to drop to like 570 to even be feasible. I need Brayshaw to honestly lose more money, but he's probably not going to, and that's where it gets really hard. And maybe instead of going for these Brayshaws and whatnot, I go for the Nassers instead, who are really bottomed out purely off unlucky injury at the wrong time, which I think he got 1 tag and 1 injury at the wrong time, which really bottomed him out like crazy. So someone that we can get really cheap. But yeah, that's how the team's looking. I appreciate all those that have tuned in on this late Friday night for the round review. I feel pretty good about the team going in this week. I feel pretty good about my game day squad going in this week. I gotta be honest, I think it looks thick. So if you do play that game, keep your eyes out for the starter leaderboard for the round rank, because I'm gonna be up there. I'm calling it now. I'm gonna be up there. But till next time, guys, appreciate all those. Peace, later.